Hi, I'm Susan Drumm. I'm so glad you're here to talk about delegation and freeing up to 8 hours or more in your work week to do the things that you really want to do. Now, this is the most important topic for any leader because we like to think that our time is unlimited, but we know that's actually a finite resource. So, how are you strategically using your time to the highest and best use? What is the best use of where you put your energy? We really want to direct that in the right way. And you get a handle on that, you get more strategic about that, everything falls into place. So, what I hope to do is give you at least 8 hours a week back. And there's ways to get even more, but it really starts with looking at both how you think about delegating, what your mindsets are around that, and then the actual process of delegating. How are you delegating to others, and how are you doing it in a way that saves you time? So we're going to look at all of that in the guide, and I'm going to jump right in to share a few important pieces I want to call out to you. The first step that we're looking at here is to really create the right mindset for delegation. And this is key because actions follow mindset. So if you're in the right belief set, you'll have a different set of actions that will naturally occur to you than if you're, let's say, in a inefficient mindset. One I want to pick out in particular is one that leaders get hung up on. It's faster if I do it myself. And instead, you think about, yes, it might be faster in the short run, but how often are you doing this thing? And yes, this particular task will be faster, but what does that mean you're not getting to as a result of that? So we really want to look at what can you teach someone to do, because the more you start offloading, and yes, initially it might take a little bit longer, but the more you start offloading, the more you create the capacity to bring new work on. So that's one of the key ones. And I would take a look in more depth there on some of the other ones that I've seen common things that delegators do. And you know how I came up with this list? Because I interviewed two sets of people. I interviewed the top delegators, the ones that everybody in the company said, oh my God, these people are incredible. I don't know how they do it. And I listened for what were the belief set, what was the mindset that they use for delegating. And then I contrasted that with who are the people that struggle delegating, either self-proclaimed bad delegators or what other people in the organization said, yeah, this guy could use some help. I talked to them and I got to learn about where their struggles were in delegating. And so what I put in this guide for you are their top 10, or let's say top reasons why they are not the best delegators and the mindset shift that needed to happen. The second piece we're looking at is to figure out where your time goes and what you can delegate. Now, this is a little bit like counting calories. You don't really know where the bad food is that you're eating until you take some time and journal or be more cognizant of what are you putting in your system. When you're forced to write it down, it's sometimes pretty eye-opening what you've been eating, and your time is the same thing. What I've asked you to do here is to create a list of about 25 to 35 items that best represent how you spend your time over a representative 2-week period. Over the next, I say 2 weeks, you can use a time tracker to easily do this. It's a little desktop app, and you create the categories for how you spend your time. And then you just click on it when you start a new task, and you click end when you're done. And as you do that throughout the day, it pulls together a nice little spreadsheet or graph that allows you to see where your time is going. Now, this is really important because this is going to be an input to our next step. Once you have your list, what we're going to do is look at how you want to think about that in the future. I usually give an example, a potential future state 6 months in advance. What do you want to be doing with your time? What do you want this to look like? You've got the list of what it looks like today. And the way I have you do that is to divide all those tasks and lists that you just created into 3 categories. Column A is things only I can do. Those are tasks which there's clearly no one else can do this. Column B is things that you could potentially guide in the future. You could have somebody delegating this information or this task to. And a column C is things I shouldn't be doing. These are things that maybe no one should be doing, like you need to get off your plate, or you don't even need to guide. You could just outsource outright. So you take your list and you put it into these three columns. And I really encourage you to push yourself on the things you put in column A. Is it really true that those are things that only you can do? When I work with executives, I push them pretty hard. I ask them to take 25% that they've written in column A and push it to column B, and take 25% of what you put in column B and push it to column C, and look at what are the barriers, are these mindsets that you need to shift in order to make that happen. Now, once you're clear on what are the things I want to get off my plate, and this is where you want to actually put some time and really think through, what are you saving here? So when you move something from column A to column B, how many hours are you freeing up? And that's where we want you to add up. I want you to get to at least 8 hours that you can free up by thinking about how to guide or how you shouldn't be doing what you're doing today. And then once we do that, we're going to look at how you actually delegate to them. Step 3 in the process is to decide who you're going to delegate these tasks to. Either you currently have a team member, let's say a VA, at least a virtual assistant, or maybe you have a larger team. Awesome. So you have more opportunities to delegate. But what we do here is we talk about both, if you don't have somebody to delegate to, how you can have that. And I would say at a minimum, you need to have a VA. That is key to, you have to have someone to delegate to. And that's like sort of job number 1 is the VA. And then we'll talk about what is their skill capability and how can you up level that? And what is their capacity and how can you help them create more time to take on more work? And then we look at guidance and structure. How do you make sure that you are delegating in the right way? How can you use technology such as Loom or tutorials to easily explain what it is you need people to do? We'll go over that in the guide as well. And we'll talk about how to use project management platforms and consider which ones you'd like to use to make this easier. We'll look at how to onboard your team. So if you are working with someone new, that you want to talk about what is your vision for what you're looking for them to do and how you like to work. What are your pet peeves? Well, how do you best like to be communicated to? All of that is in here as well. And then we get to the how to delegate. And this is super important. We have a model called ours, and it's designed to say, when you delegate, it's not yours alone or mine alone, it's ours. It's an agreement we have with each other. The ours stands for an acronym of creating outcomes, vivid outcomes, to talking about usage. So how will you use this? How can you relate this to prior tasks? And how do you seal the deal? So there's a lot of great information about step-by-step to walk through when you're about to delegate to someone. Think about these 4 steps. And inevitably, we're kind of good at one step and we're not so good in the other step. I know for me personally, I'm really good at creating vivid outcomes and describing what it is I want the output I'm looking for, but I'm not so good in sealing the deal and really helping them prioritize what's more important than other things. So this guide will give you the clear step-by-step approach to doing that. And then finally, we talk about how to course correct when things go wrong. Did you make a clear agreement? What can you do in the future to make that better? And a lot of that is asking questions of your delegate. What did they take in? What did they hear? What did they misstep? And looking for ways to go back to the hours model to make that more crisp in how you delegate. All of that is in this guide. It is robust. There's a lot in there, and it will, if you apply this in the right way, it absolutely will help you free up at least 8 hours a week. So I look forward to hearing what it is you were able to delegate, how much time that freed up for you, and what you filled it with. Maybe it was a new project that you've been dying to get to and you just can't seem to get to. Or maybe it was just you want to go hiking in the mornings, you want to exercise, and you want to free up time so you can take care of yourself in the best way possible. Either way, this is the guide for you. Hi, I'm Susan Drumm, and welcome to the Enlightened Executive, where your personal evolution sparks your leadership evolution. Each episode, we feature groundbreaking techniques and strategies to help executives and entrepreneurs get the edge in personal and leadership effectiveness. So why am I doing this? Well, I've been a CEO and C-suite team coach for almost 20 years. My team and I have worked with hundreds of senior executive clients, from Fortune 100 organizations to smaller companies. What I noticed was my clients have an intense curiosity for outside-the-box personal growth programs that help you be both a better human and a better leader. And given I've been a curator of various programs and retreats, apps, or assessments for my clients over the years, I wanted to pass along this wisdom to you. So once a week, I'll interview the founders of these programs or the leaders who swear by them. I'll also offer tips and strategies to help you scale your business more effectively. And I'll provide a little bit of inspiration with a different dream office backdrop each week. So please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we release new content. I'll see you on the next episode of The Enlightened Executive.